Every time I try to make a video, somebody's cutting the grass outside. Maybe it's a metaphor for how I feel right now. We're gonna power through. So I've been sitting on this news for over a week, thinking it through because I really wanted to present it without too much emotion into it. Now, as you know, on this channel, I focus on VR sculpting and FreeCAD design, and VR sculpting really changed my life for the better. It really opened my mind to my creative potential and showed me a lot of opportunities that I thought were closed to me. And it came at one of the darkest points of my life, which is why I care so much about it and feel the need to share this recent news with 3D printable artists such as yourself. Hello and welcome to Kimchi Studios, where we create fine art. I am flanked by my own personal creations, as you see. We make 3D printables, gadgets, and other junk that you need. Now, some of my designs include the Vertebra USB cable that is designed in FreeCAD. This is a squishy cable organizer that I'm very proud of. I have improved it. It was pretty good in the past, but now it's even better. I've also created the MetaQuest 2 holsters, which I always like to plug. These are so cool. You can download these on Colts 3D, link in the description below. I am very proud of these. This was actually my first major CAD design that I did. And after exploring my options and my creative potential in CAD, I saw a little bit more. I really wanted to be able to sculpt anything. And if I can combine the world of CAD design, parametric modeling, and sculpture, I will be unstoppable. But today I have some very sad news. My favorite VR sculpting program is shifting from a buy to own model to a monthly and yearly subscription-based model. That's right, software as a service. Let's delve into how this is probably the plan all along and my take on it and what it means for you and the future of VR art. Years ago, I got my first headset, the one and only Oculus Rift. I paid way too much for it, trying to import it into South Korea.
Give me money.
And when I first put it on, my mind was blown. It came with some free programs. I think there was a free game, Robo Recall, which is awesome still to this day. And it had Quill, is like a 2D animation software. And then it had Medium. Medium is a voxel-based VR sculpting app that is very powerful. There's some very talented artists out there that have successfully used it and continue to use it to this day. Medium was acquired by Adobe and rebranded as Substance 3D or something like that, and it's now a subscription-based service. I still use the older version from the Oculus Store, which works great. I'm glad that it's still on there, but I was turned off by the subscription model for the newer updated version with a few new bells and whistles. Now, during the pandemic, I discovered another VR sculpting app that I love. It is a polygonal VR sculpting program, so it's a little bit less taxing on your computer, and I found it on Steam, and it's called Shapelab. It's developed by Leopoly, and it made the process of creating 3D printable art much smoother, much faster. It was superior to the other one, and I was able to quickly teach myself the basics of sculpting and added it to my repertoire of CAD skills, electronics knowledge, and various other things that I feel fortunate to be able to experience in this lifetime and be able to share with you. Since then, I was able to do food art gigs. I had the confidence to do food art gigs, performing live in front of people, doing things I'd never did before. And I'm gonna show you the details in the next video. Make sure to like and subscribe so you'll be notified when that drops. Once a VR doubter, I am now thoroughly enjoying VR, and I highly recommend anybody at any age, any stage in their life to try out VR sculpting, because I see VR and AR sculpting becoming a very popular medium for art in the near future. And this leads to the recent announcement from Leopoly and the Shapelab team, which is both good and not so good news. But to understand their perspective, we need to put on our MBA hats. Leopoly has been in the 3D design business for over a decade, according to their website, really zeroing in on the potential of AR and VR software for things like prosthetics and foot insoles. And they proudly display their B2B clients on their homepage, including companies like HP, Mercedes-Benz, Lenovo, and several others. You have to keep in mind, they are not a video game company. Their clients are big businesses. So while it's fantastic that they have created a very user-friendly, artistic outlet for VR users at home, such as you and me, they seem to be going a similar route as other parametric software do, like Fusion 360, SolidWorks, and others like Plasticity, offering the rights to the software for the month or the year that you subscribe to it. Growing up in the 90s, I really missed the days of purchasing completed software and games that you could take home, install, have a hard copy of, and it's yours. You purchased it. It's really starting to feel like the you will own nothing and be happy era is finally upon us. But like I said, from a broader perspective, it's not much different than purchasing the same Call of Duty game with a new wrapping on it year after year.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Or each version of Windows every couple of years. I think the reason that it bothers me so much is that starving artists such as myself won't be as inclined to purchase the software, and I don't see a whole lot of discounts happening in the near future if they are going the same route that Adobe does. I still do not subscribe to any of Adobe's stuff. Leopoly really needs to watch out for competition like Codon, which offers a similar and attractively priced alternative. I believe they're the same price. It was like $60 for Shapelab. I think Codon right now is $60 on Steam. Although they're having a little bit of trouble getting off the ground. They seem to be having a few issues with file saving, but I'm sure if they're serious, they're going to address this in future updates and really try to make it a competitive software. So keep an eye out for that one. I'm very curious about the overhead costs of a company with the server maintenance and the development and other back-end operations that go on to justify the yearly subscription model. I mean, I would have gladly have paid $100 to $200 for the software right out the gate if I could have tried it for a set number of hours and then be promised all future updates after the purchase. Let's be honest, my opinion really doesn't mean much in the long run. This is business, and the brutal reality is that Leopoly will likely enjoy a steady income from subscriptions sold in bulk to art schools, universities, gaming studios, film companies, etc. if people bite the bait. Just think Microsoft, Adobe, and Amazon subscription-based software, things like that. This has the potential to be a huge moneymaker for Leopoly, but I strongly suggest that they offer a trial by the hour option to really hook the average broke, starving individual like you and me. Past updates with Shapelab have been kind of spread out, and it's still in the early stages of the product life cycle, but I think we can expect more frequent updates, like the recent addition of sliders for the transform tool and the ability to lock axes along with numeric input options. Those have been all great, and I think as they continue to expand and more people adopt the software, then they're going to be able to add more features. Competition in the sphere is more than welcome, and I really see people eventually exploring their options and developing their own VR sculpting programs, maybe even similar to how CAD designers created FreeCAD, which I use almost every day. I've donated to it, but I never had to pay a penny for it. Another example is a globally known and revered free animation and modeling software, Blender. Blender is a powerhouse and has a huge community behind it. Have you ever gone to a forum and said one negative thing about Blender? See what happens. I suggest you get life insurance, not financial advice. And I wouldn't be surprised to see the Blender community and Blender developers implement a VR option in the near future as VR continues to grow in popularity and affordability. It's just an awesome time. Blender is really incredible once you get the hang of it, so I suggest you take it one step at a time, and any new software, that's what I recommend you do. Don't try to do a whole thing. It's not gonna turn out well. Just take one step at a time, make one block and alter the block and proceed from there. Do not do the donut tutorial. Don't do it. I've done it like 3 times. It's so bad. Don't do it. And like the older tutorials are outdated like within a year. Don't do it. Despite this little gut punch I saw coming way before I even paid for Shapelab, I fully support the team and the company at Leopoly, and I like what they're doing. And I understand this is a business and there is a massive potential for making big profits out there. And let's face it, any new cash flow coming into this company with this software is going to push development in exciting directions. And as you know, we're all about expanding our creative potential here on this channel. I still recommend Shapelab to anyone looking to learn how to do art, especially sculpting without all the mess. You always have the undo button, and it really makes sculpting a breeze. It's so simple, it's awesome. And I really believe that there's no better way right now to experiment with making 3D printable art with a VR software other than Shapelab right now. I just hope that in the future the price tag is justified. Right now I'm enjoying my 2024 version of Shapelab, and to be honest, this announcement makes me want to use it every day now. If you found this video informative, please give it a like and head on over to my Patreon where you can see the 3D models that I sculpt and design, and I have them on there that you can print 3D physical copies of and sell if you want. It's also a way of feeling my inventor docu-mini series that I love to do. I know it's not popular yet, but I just love showcasing the stories usually the unpopular and unknown stories of people who develop products that we use every day. I think their stories are inspiring, and we have a lot more in common with them than you realize. I believe there's many people out there that are this close to coming out with the next product that can change, the fabric of society. You never know. You can also find these models and some of my free 3D printables on colts3d.com. I've had a really good time on there. If you have a 3D printer, you can buy other people's models and print them on your printer in your house, and you can upload your models and sell them on there as well. So check that out, link in the description below. Also, make sure to follow me on TikTok, because I promise I am at least 30% more entertaining over there than I am here. In the meantime, I'm gonna be busy sculpting. Stay creative. See you soon.